After a recent game, San Jose State's head coach was asked if there's tensions in the locker room.
I don't know that that's something I necessarily want to get into. I think that what we do inside our locker room and inside our group is kind of just amongst ourselves.
Coach Kress did say there's a lot of hate towards the team on social media.
You know, when you wake up every day and you're receiving those messages, eventually it's going to take a toll. And at some point, the people that are sending those messages, I think they need to wake up and look at themselves in the mirror and really question who they are as human beings and what their end game is.
Nevada's Laili says she's feeling for Fleming.
No one deserves the type of hate that I can imagine this person is getting. And I have no animosity towards this person individually. It's never been just about an individual. It's about the future of women's sports.
Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. So it happened again on Thursday. The very thing that we've been talking about when it comes to making female athletes compete against male players. And one of the main reasons people are against it is safety. We can't cite safety enough. State governors have supported the various schools who have forfeited against San Jose State because they have a male player on their team. And the one thing they all mention is safety. Even with safety aside, male players do not belong in women's competitions, regardless of how they identify. But safety is a real concern, and on Thursday, we got another reminder of why it's so important to look out for the safety of female athletes. We got another reminder of why categories in sports are so important and why we shouldn't blur the lines. So San Jose State were playing New Mexico, and a female athlete got hit by a ball that had been spiked by a male player, Blaire Fleming. And yes, it happens in volleyball, but the chances of a female athlete getting injured are greater when competing against males. So Nevada Reno is the latest school to forfeit against San Jose State, and this team got particular attention because their school does not support them. Their school issued a statement saying that the match on the 26th of October is still going ahead, and they do not support the actions of the girls, or that the actions of the girls do not reflect the beliefs of the school. So an outside hitter spoke up recently, Sia Alili, and she confirmed that the team are still going ahead with the forfeit. They will not be playing on the 26th of October. The majority of the team voted against playing. She reminded everybody that the main reason is safety concerns.
Transgender women participating in sports often brings heated discussions.
Women's sports are for women, and biological males have no place in women's sports. It's a safety concern. I would never want to see anyone put in harm's way. And they just have biological differences. They're stronger, they're faster.
ESPN reports there are 23 states with laws restricting transgender athletes. Nevada is not one of them. But University of Nevada Reno President Brian Sandoval sent a statement out yesterday saying, quote, "As a public university, we are legally prohibited by Section 24 of the Nevada Constitution and other laws and regulations to declare a forfeit for reasons related to gender identity or expression," unquote. Players say an initial statement from the university early in the week made them feel unsupported.
They came out with that second one just to let us know, like, hey, we do support you, but we support all of our students.
Southern Utah was the first team to forfeit. 4 Mountain West teams followed suit: Boise State, Wyoming, Utah State, and Nevada. The conference says it's up to each institution to make its own choice. The NCAA transgender policy is different for each sport and is determined by the governing body of that sport. For USA Volleyball, one of the stipulations is that transgender women must have testosterone levels under 10 nanomoles per liter for at least 1 year before playing. According to WebMD, the normal levels for men range from 10 to 35, and for women, it's 0.5 to 2.4. All transgender athletes must reapply after each season.
Fleming.
Blaire Fleming is the 6'1" redshirt senior at the center of this issue and leads the team in kills and blocks. Fleming has played for the Spartans for 3 seasons. We've reached out to Fleming and have not yet heard back. Brooke Slusser joined the Spartan team last year. She's saluting Nevada for forfeiting. She's also joined a federal lawsuit suing the NCAA for letting transgender athletes compete in sports. The lawsuit was filed after a transgender woman won the 2022 NCAA Women's Swimming Championship.
Trans San Jose State volleyball masher Blaire Fleming was at it again Thursday night in Albuquerque, where an opponent wore a blast off Fleming's palm in a 3-1 SJSU victory. While multiple Mountain West opponents have forfeited matches against SJSU as the show of force against the invasion of biological males in women's sports, the New Mexico Lobos stepped up to play. Then this happened. What a moment for women's sports.
Fleming, Danielson does well to keep that one alive. Fleming and Danielson on the receiving end of that one. She pops up, letting everybody know she's all right.
Yeah, Danielson's been making some impressive plays just in that one rally. But yeah, going back to what you said about...
It's so interesting to me how they assume that the player is okay just because she bounces up again straight away. They want to get up as quickly as possible to let everybody know, I'm okay. You know, we didn't make a mistake coming here. Just because somebody gets up and seems okay initially, that doesn't mean that they haven't suffered a concussion. That doesn't mean that they don't need to get checked out to make sure that there aren't any lasting issues. Obviously, she was hit hard enough to be knocked down. So Riley Gaines said, if you're wondering why teams are forfeiting against SJSU, here's the reason. Last night, another woman was smashed in the face by a kill from a man posing as a woman. It's unfair, unsafe, and regressive, yet our leaders remain silent. So Fleming had 18 kills in the match, 3 aces in the victory that ran San Jose's record to 10-3. And it's a fact that the more this happens, the greater the chance of it being another Peyton McNabb situation. A repeat of that, which is exactly what we don't want. And I would hate for it to take something like that for people to wake up. But apparently, even what happened to her didn't get people to wake up. After that happened, not a single Democrat voted for the Save Women in Sports Act that was proposed a while back. The majority of people are actually against transgender athletes competing in women's competitions. One of the main reasons is safety. The first reaction people have when you talk about male athletes competing in women's sports is, that's ridiculous. That's not safe. So over on Twitter, people who have experience in volleyball were weighing into the situation. And speaking of the significance of a male player playing in a women's competition with a lower net, Leonard said, any hardcore and experienced volleyball players care to opine on how much an outlier despite volleyball was. Like out of 1,000 female college volleyball players, how many can spike a ball that hard? I'm looking to fact check this because I'm clueless about volleyball. Many people don't know how often this happens. Because I'm sure there's a lot of people who are going to say, well, this happens anyway. It happens with women playing volleyball. It happens with men playing other men. This is the nature of the game. So let's see what people say. So Dove said, played for 16 years, 5th grade through to adulthood. Even coached a few years. That is an outlier, only performed by a man. I have never seen a female player hit a ball so hard, nor any hit by a woman that hit another player in the face that they were knocked to the ground, ever. In both of these examples we've seen, the women were knocked to the ground. Is this something that happens all the time in women's volleyball, being knocked to the ground like that? Let's see. I played volleyball for 30 years, jumps about average for a guy, shorter net, good power like most outside male hitters. I could still do this today with a bad shoulder and old bones on a women's height net. This person is not special. But the difference is when you're playing in a women's competition, you can use your sheer advantage of just being male to get way ahead of the female athletes. Blank responded, I was going to say, you can tell he probably grew up playing with the boys, as that jump and swing tell me they've been playing at a pretty good HS level and probably club. And I know in my area, which is East Coast, has high school boys that are 6'6" and can touch 11 inches. It's not fair to go from playing that to playing even the highest level women's volleyball. Having played for many years, the big difference is the shorter net. 7'4" is a lot different than 8 feet. Couple that with the height and strength of a male player. you have a very unfair and potentially dangerous situation for the receiving team. These are just facts. These are people sharing their experiences. These are people sharing their expertise and knowledge. This isn't hate. Reality and fact isn't hate. Played volleyball for 25 years, coached college club ball. Don't take anyone's word for it. Just watch how different the men's game is than the women's. The men's game is simply a power game of beating the piss out of the ball, which is what we saw here. It's dangerous. The fact is, women's volleyball is different from men's volleyball. Women's tennis, as Serena Williams has confirmed, is different from men's tennis. Women's basketball is different from men's basketball. Both my daughters play in college and don't see that type of hit much. And I wouldn't expect it at SJSU. I would expect it at Nebraska, Texas, or one of the elite teams. The OH guy jumps like a guy and swings very hard. In Division 1 NCAA, the ball speed for female VP players was between 15.5 and 16.1 meters per second. The average speed of the men's VB spike is over 22 meters per second, with the fastest spikes reaching 31 meters per second. This is 62 miles per hour for the average spike and 110 miles per hour for the fastest. So according to a Scott Rasmussen poll, 72% of registered voters are against male athletes competing in women's competitions, regardless of who they vote for. This is just common sense. This is just right and wrong. It's estimated that the ball that hit Peyton McNabb was going up to 76 miles per hour. Brooks Lusser, I don't know if she is able to know for sure. She thinks Fleming spikes go up to 80 miles per hour. I think when it comes to watching this person play, the girls can see clear differences in how this person plays compared to how they play as women. They can see the difference. Just like if a man played in a WNBA, he would be dunking on the women. And none of this is to take away anything from female athletes, because some TRAs have implied that it's sexist. It's sexist to imply that men are physically stronger than women, that men can jump higher than women, can punch harder than women, can throw further than women or faster. Apparently it's sexist to acknowledge that. There's nothing sexist about acknowledging biological fact. Women's sports is different from men's. So if you have experience in volleyball, if you want to add to that information, maybe you think that this is a common occurrence in women's volleyball. It's hard to tell from the video. The D1 athletes are getting tremendous power on their hits, but nothing compared to men's volleyball. The girl probably has whiplash. Watch her head fly back violently. She is tough to jump up so quickly. 0. I've played volleyball for 40 years. Biological men should not be playing with biological females. There is a reason the women's net is lower than the men's net. If you're looking to fact check if a man hits the ball harder than a woman, you are clueless about far more than volleyball. Out of 1,000 female college volleyball players, none of them are dudes. This dude is an outlier. It's not hard. So I hope that female athlete is okay. And I hope her school rethinks putting their female athletes forward to play against a team who has a male athlete. I hope they rethink that and follow the example of the other 5 schools, well, the 4 schools and the female team who have forfeited against San Jose State. Because safety comes before winning or losing or participating. Safety has to come first. So let me know what you think. Thanks for watching. Like, comment and subscribe. Take care of yourselves, and God willing, I will see you in the next video.